Hello everyone, I am Bets Golden and I am so excited that you're joining me today. I'm participating in a hop and the theme of the hop is friendship. When I first signed up for this hop, I had a million ideas running through my head of what I wanted to do. However, I was doing my Bible study yesterday and God actually narrowed it down for me. Now, I'm not a super spiritual or religious person. I do pray over my kids every day. However, I may not always, act like a perfect Christian does. And, I'm not always that graceful, submissive woman that a lot of the church portrays that we should be. So it may be surprising to some of you that know me in real life that I'm actually going to do a project that was inspired by my Heavenly Father. So I hope that you can appreciate this and that you can be like, oh, wow, if God can use her, God can definitely use me. This is going to be made for a friend of mine. And I did not know that this is what was in the works. And I don't know what's going on her life on the other end, in which I'm really being led to make her this card. There is a line out by Rita Bearcat through the Technique Junkies, and it is all about friends. So I am using one of those stamp sets in my card to create it. Now, her and I were in a musical play at church back in, I think it was 1987. Yeah, 1987. And the name, I think, was Friends. And the song was by Michael W. Smith. And the line that kept running over in my head for the last 2 days that needs to go on this card is, a friend is a friend forever when the Lord is the Lord of them. And her and I have been friends for 30 years. She has seen me at my best and she has seen me at my worst, and vice versa. And I think the reason why we've always found a certain level of comfort and strength and love in each other is because it really was founded in God. This woman is seriously a spiritual warrior, and she has faith that I wish that I would have had during times of my life that were not necessarily happy. And I've seen her struggle and really get down and deal with some hard stuff, and not once has she ever lost her faith. And I admire that so much about her. So you can imagine, as I have this saying floating in my head from that Michael W. Smith song back in the 80s, and this cute little stamp set, I know it needs to go on a card, and I'm asking God, but who? Who is this for? Why am I making this card? Does a viewer need to see it? Do I need to mail it to someone? What is this for? And then my Heavenly Father revealed to me who I was making this card for. So I am excited to see how this plays out. I have all my bits and pieces for the card laid out. However, I haven't put it all together. I'm going to do that on camera right now. But before I did, I just wanted to come on and tell you the backstory to this. This is a super meaningful project because it has literally been inspired by the Holy Spirit. So I hope that you find enjoyment in this. You get something from it. Maybe God is telling you something. I don't know, but I do know that it needs to be created, and I do need to know that it goes to my friend, and that's all I know. And sometimes that's all we need to know, right? So if you're hopping along, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope that you subscribe, and I hope you enjoy what you see. If you're not hopping along and you're just here, I hope that you do join in our hop and find more inspiration from other creative individuals too. Make sure you subscribe to all the channels that you enjoy. I certainly hope that you enjoy them all. Give them all a thumbs up, leave positive comments, and share if you feel so inspired. Let's get on with the project, shall we? This is the stamp I was talking about. It is this adorable sunset stamp by Rita Bearcat. So what I've already done is I've already stamped the image, and it comes on this cling foam rubber, which it's deep etched, so you get a beautiful clear image. That's what I really like about this. And you can use your foams like this on your acrylic blocks, and that's how you stamp. I'm just stating that for people who may be new to stamping and they may not know that, because I didn't know that. So I'm going to go over some basics today that you know, maybe not everybody knows about, and maybe, you know, you do. So nice refresher though, right? I've had a couple of requests from people going, can you go over some basics? So I thought this would be a perfect opportunity. So I stamped the image and I cut it out. And this is what my little image looks like now. I used alcohol markers to color it in. I used my Copic set that I'll list down below. This comes in so handy. If you cannot afford a ton of Copics, I highly recommend this set. It is pricey, but it is much cheaper than trying to buy them individually. And you get a really nice variation of colors that are in groups of like 3, so you can do proper shading. And then for this little gal's hair, I used these from Close to My Heart, these 3 colors for her hair. Now, whenever you're doing gray or black hair with Copic markers, you can always put down a base of blue, and it really, really makes the colors lay beautifully and blend nicely. I have another video about how to do some shading if you want some more information on that. Once I cut this all out, and I did cut it out by freehand, and I also used an X-Acto knife, I had bled out a little bit on some spots with my Copic marker, and I just used a white gel roll little pin to go over those spots to cover it up, but it ended up I didn't have to worry about that because I cut out the image. So I fussy cut it, and then I noticed that I cut off some of the lines, which often happens. So all you do when that happens is you just place your piece of paper down. I spilt my coffee there, sorry. On a scratch piece of paper, as you can see I did, take a fine tip black pen and just go around the edges. Don't try to write on the stamped image, just try to follow the outline. What that does is it lifts a little bit of that black ink and makes your stamped image look a bit more crisp, being still so subtle. All right, so the card base that I'm using is actually from Simon Says Stamps, and I'm going to stamp the image first. The sentiment I used I didn't have it, so I had to create it. And I am a big fan of peg stamps to create your sentiments. So I'll show you how to do that in a moment. It's super easy. As you can see, I don't keep mine alphabetized because what's the point? I'm just going to tear them all apart later. Plus, this is a really good project. If you have a kid and you're going somewhere in the car, you can have them clip them all together according to their ABCs, or you can have them practice their spelling. So that's good. But I am going to use this other sentiment stack. I want the sentiment Miss You on the inside of this. So I'm going to stamp that, and I'm just going to use the ink that I use to stamp all my images, which is the Simon Says Stamp ink in Intense Black. I like this because look, it is for solvent and alcohol markers. No question there. Okay, so I'm going to do Miss You because I haven't seen my friend in forever. And I'm just going to stamp the sentiment on the inside, like so. And then I'm going to flip it over. Now I'm folding it down like that, so I need to make sure I work on this bottom half from here. Let's get started on that. I'm going to lay out my base first before I start to adhere, because I'm going to do pop dots on this, and then I'm also going to add a little bit of my Stickles to give the hair some glitter. But I created my back piece like this. I did a paint pour technique using Mod Podge Ultra as my pour medium. I have a video up on that, and it was so fabulous. I highly recommend this product to anybody who wants to paint pour. I just did it on cardboard, so it's super, you know, I didn't, you know, break the bank making it. I literally made it on trash. My friend's not trash. I don't think she's trash, but I did repurpose something. I'm going to use Mixed Media Glue by Beacon. This is really perfect for this. It's clear, it dries fast, and it is made for mixed media. This is considered mixed media because I'm using a couple different substrates. So this will be absolutely perfect adhesive for this project. All right. Now, when I laid this out, I had visions of making a sky with a sun, and then I wanted to have like the green to represent the mountains. But, you know, when you pour paint, you're not always going to get that, and I knew that going into it. So I didn't get that. My blue pretty much disappeared. So what I want to do from here on out is I want to add in a little bit more blue. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place my girls, my sweet little friends, on some pop dots just to make them pop up a little bit more. Now, whenever you make a card like this that has so much depth to it, I should say, where it's really thick and it's fat, you may need an extra stamp. So just keep that in mind. And if it doesn't fit into the envelope that it's supposed to, just go for the next size up. All right, so, and the reason why I'm doing this is because my sentiment that I'm using is so long and there's so many words that I may have to tuck portions of it underneath my cute little girls. Alrighty. So let's just pop them on the bottom. I like how they're kind of sitting. Okay, so I'm going to pop them on the bottom like so. So I have that all laid out, ready to go. Now I'm going to move on to my sentiment. So what I did was I created my sentiment using this stack that I have by Burgess Monroe. You can also get stacks by Prima. I've seen those out that are really nice as well. In fact, this letter stack is by Prima and it fits nicely on top of this. And it's just a peg system. So they just literally lock into each other. It's so simple to use. When you are going to look for a peg system, always make sure that there is like 2 E's, 2 R's, 2 S's, things like that, so you don't have to build half words, you can build complete words. So what I did was I stamped this out on some cardstock in black using the same Simon Says Intense Black Premium ink pad. And then I went around the edges with my new favorite thing lately with this Distress Archival Mermaid Lagoon. Like I said, I wanted to bring some more blue back into my my card because I lost it pretty much, which is okay. Now, I am a whimsical, happy, colorful type artist, I would say. That's my whimsical is definitely it for me. So I stamped my sentiments. I went through, used a my cutter to cut them, but then I really wanted to go over them and trim them down even more to make them smaller. And I also wanted to make the edges not so perfect to lend itself to that whimsical type feel. So that's what I did. And I really like how it looks. I ran it through my Xyron cutter, my Xyron sticker maker, just because it's going to be so much easier to pop the stickers on or the sentiment on as stickers than if I were to try to lay them out with glue. So let me go ahead and just get this going. Now with this, you always want to make sure you give it a nice rub so the adhesive adheres. But the Xyron sticker maker is fabulous for small things like this. Okay, so I want to start off with a friend is a friend forever when the Lord is the Lord of them. So I'm just going to start to lay this out, and this sticks nicely over this paint pour. A friend is, and I'm just gonna lay this out like so. It's hard for me not to sing this as I do it. I swear I could hear Michael W. Smith singing it in my head. And I'll put it over like that. All right, so my sentiments on there, looking pretty cute. Now, if you notice, I do have the card still open, and that's because I don't want there to be any kind of bounce. If I were to close this card and start to work on it as that kind of card base, it would be really hard for me to get a nice straight placement. So and especially when you stamp, you guys, always keep your card base open. All right, so I want to add just a few more things to this because goodness knows it doesn't look busy enough for me. So I'm going to add some stickles through her hair and in the sun. So I'm using mermaid tail stickles. I'm going to do that on the beautiful blue gal hair. And I wanted these ladies to look like they were mature, like me. So, you know, 40s. 50s, maybe she's 60. And I'm just adding some fun purple to her hair. And my mom has, she's gone purple and blue, and she didn't mean to. She's trying to go gray. But, yeah, so I always think when I get older, I'm totally going to have purple or blue hair. Intentionally. And then, oh, this one, sorry, is just the Stickles Silver. So this one is pretty intense. So I'm just going to go around in some circles and just get some sparkle on her. It's the little extra touches like this that really make a card special and pop. All right, and then I'm going to put, I just have to do this, Sunburst. I mean, come on, I have a sun. I need some Sunburst on it, right? And I always just rub out that sparkle with my little tip of my Stickles nozzle. All right. So this is going to dry flat because it's a stickle. That's what they do. That's how they're created. And I like that. I want that for the hair and things like this. Now I want to add a little bit more details to this. I have a little bit of space down here. So I pulled out my Nuvo Drops Midnight Blue. Again, I want to really pop some more blue back into this card. So I'm going to start at the top because I'm left-handed and I'm going to work my way down. And I'm just going to do about 2 dots up here. And these will hold their peaks. And then I'm going to do about 3 dots here. And then I'm going to do 2 dots here. And see, now I know that I should stop at 7. I know I should. Like, that's the rule, right? You always stop at 7. You either going to lay something out in 3. It's always odd numbers, and it's always either 3, 5, and at the very most 7. Because they say if you go over 7, it's too much, and it confuses the mind. But I'm all about breaking rules, and that to me, that just isn't right yet. So I'm going to break some rules, and I'm going to add some more dots. I'm really sorry. If you're like, oh no, she's breaking rules. I'm sorry. I'm a rule breaker. I don't always follow the rules. So I'm sorry that I'm breaking the rules, but I just think that is totally looking a lot better. I do want to keep it odd because I'm odd. So I don't like to work in even. So let's see if I have some odds. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No. I need 13. 13 is my number. I love 13. I know I shouldn't because that's like supposed to be like Friday the 13th and scary and stuff, but I don't buy into that. So there we go. All right. How are we feeling about this? We good? Ooh, it looks like I need something there. Okay, so now we're 14. So now I got to put down another spot because I want it to be odd. I can talk. Yeah, I can talk. All right, so let's see. Yeah, I have 15. I'm good. It's odd. I broke the rules and my card is done. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Again, I already told you that I hope you hop along, find some other creative inspiration, and thanks so much for joining me. Until next time, I'm Bets Golden. Happy crafting!